Hello, welcome to another video on my channel. I know it's been a while, but I thought that you guys might like to see this one, so I thought I would share it. I have been wanting to get a passport size traveler's notebook, but I didn't really want to spend the money if I didn't know that I would enjoy the size. And I don't know if I will enjoy the size, so I thought I would make my own. I'm quite happy with how they turned out, and so I thought I would share with you how I made them in case you guys want to try them. I do use a normal size traveler's notebook. I carry it in my purse and I use it every day, and it's kind of my wallet. But the problem with that is that it's very large and I have to carry it in my purse, and so it takes up all the room in my purse. So I thought I would switch to a smaller one, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So I'll just show you, it's just like my other one in that I have folders that I made. I have a calendar, back side of the folder. I have a weekly. I have a journal page for whatever I want to journal. Another folder. And another, this is for notes. The only thing I'm missing is a pocket over here, which I'm gonna add, I have a clear pocket, I'm gonna add that to mine. But anyways, I'm gonna show you how I made these, because it's quite easy, and I really think that you'll enjoy it. So to start off, we're gonna make the cover, because the cover has to go through the laminator, so it's gonna need some time. So I have two pieces of paper here that are 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. And all I'm gonna do is stick them together. Just like that. Then I'm going to round the corners with my We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper. And then I'm going to put it in my score folder, or my scoreboard. And I'm going to score it. I'm going to score it at 4 1/8, which is right down the middle. Okay. Then I'm going to go over 1/4 of an inch from that, which is 3 7/8. 1/4 of an inch from that, which is 3 5/8. Okay. Then I'm going to come back to the center one, which is at 4 1/8, and I'm going to go over 1/4 of an inch, which is 4 3/8, and 4 5/8. So now you'll see that I have 5 score marks on there. Okay. Then I'm going to take this and put it in a laminating pouch. And I can get 2 covers out of 1 pouch. Then I'm going to take it right to my ink machine and put it through, because it's already warmed up. While that is going through, I'm going to show you how I make the books. So I found whatever it was that I wanted to use. Like for this, we're going to do a calendar. I found this calendar as a free printable download online. I just searched in Pinterest and found one that I liked. Otherwise, you can always make your own as well. But I found it was easier to download one and then just kind of size it to my needs. So that's what I did here. And then I printed them all out back to back, and on one of them I printed graph paper so that I wouldn't have a partial calendar. You don't need to do that, it's not necessary. I just didn't want a partial calendar as my front cover, as my front page. Okay, so then now that I folded them in half, and also I cut them down to 5. These are at 5 inches tall, and they are still 8 1/2 if they're open. And I just fold them up and leave them that size because I want to cut them all together to help to help keep them the same size. Then I have here a this is 12 inches by 5 inches. And I scored it at 6 inches and folded it in the center. And then all I do is I place my booklet right inside of it. And then I sort of open it up. And now I'm going to put them together. Okay. I have done this. I have done how to make your own inserts for a traveler's notebook. This is much the same way as doing it for the regular size, except that it's different. It's smaller. Okay, and then I have a regular stapler that I bought from Walmart, and I just put them on a piece of cardboard here, and open up the stapler like this. Just open it all the way up. And then I see those holes there where the staples come out. I just lay them right on the line. And that generally gets me good and lined up. And then staple it down. I did purchase a new stapler because I broke my other one. But this one was only $6. And it goes in really nice. Then I pull it off of the cardboard. And you can see that my staples are sticking up. So all I have to do is lay them down. I have this fancy little brad opener tool, which I only usually use the pokey end of it. But this little piece here comes in handy to help lay them down nice and flat. Okay, once the staples are down, I close up the book and I furnish it with my score. I'm also going to put my cover. It has come out of the laminator. I'm going to put it back in a different direction just so I can ensure that I have a nice good stick. Okay. Next step with our book is to take a ruler. And for me, I am making my finished book size is 5 by 3 3 3/8, I believe. I better measure just to make sure. Yep, 3/8. 3 3/8 by 5. That's the finished size of my book. So I'm going to make a mark at 3/8. Then, because I am terrible at straight lines, I'm going to use my T-square ruler and I'm going to draw a straight line right down the front of the book on my mark. Okay. Next up, I take my metal ruler and I take a very sharp X-Acto knife. I line up the ruler on the line and then I just run the X-Acto knife down the edge, and I have to do it many times. I'm not going to try to get it all at once because then I will mess up. Like I just did. Best to keep the ruler there. If you move the ruler, then you tend to get a bunch of these little pieces coming off. So just try really hard not to move the ruler like I did. That's why I tried not to put it back on there, but oh well. It is what it is. I'm going to save the 2 pieces here that I cut off. The rest of it is going to go in the trash. And then all I have left to do is round the corners. and rounding the corners is completely unnecessary. I just like the way that it looks. Okay, so then I have all of my books ready to go. Oops, I forgot a tiny step. Using your X-Acto knife sometimes adds a little tiny edge to the paper, so I just like to run over it with my bone folder just to kind of smooth it out. All right, next step, we grab our cover, which now has been laminated, and you can still see the score marks. Okay, what we want to do first is trim it down. Okay, I'm going to cut, I'm just going to put it in here and cut the edge off. Same thing here. As close as I can without opening up, without going over. You need to leave a little space. You don't want to go into where it's not sealed too close to the paper. Okay. Once you're done with that, then I like to take, again, my corner rounder and punch the corners, and sometimes it punches them all out and sometimes it doesn't. I just do this because even though it's square and you can't really see them, I feel like it gives it a more finished look. Okay, plus it makes them less pointy, so that's a thing. All right, then last step for this, we're going to put this in our scoreboard, and I'm just lining up the score marks with my 6-inch mark. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I do have a line here, so I can make sure that it's straight. The top of the line touches the 6 and the bottom of the line needs to touch my blue mark. And I'm just kind of reinforcing the score marks that I created. It helps the book to curve better when you fold it. You want the book to have a nice curve like this so that it wraps around your books instead of being kind of squared off. So then you determine which is your cover. This is going to be my front, this is going to be the inside. So then all I'm going to do is fold it in the direction that I need it, so that right now I'm making the inside on the inside. And I'm just kind of, I'm not creasing the score marks, I'm kind of just helping them to fold. Okay. And then once you're done with that, once you do that, you'll have a nice curve in your book. Okay, next step, we just have to poke the holes. So we grab something, I just grabbed this piece of packaging, and then I grab my poker tool, and I'm going to start out on the center hole, the center score mark, and right in the center, I poke a hole. After I poke that hole, I do pick it up, and I kind of wiggle around my poker, and I want to make that hole just a little bit bigger. Reason being is that that is where my wraparound one is going to go. So 2 pieces of elastic are going to have to go through there. And I definitely want to make sure that it's a little bit bigger than the rest of them. All right. So once I've done that, then I'm going to put it down here. I'm putting it on my packaging towards the bottom. I'm going to find my center hole again, and then I'm going to go over one, or not my center hole, my center score mark. I'm going to go over one score mark, and I'm just going to be up about 1/4 of an inch maybe. And then I'm going to poke. Then on the same score line, I'm going to go up maybe about 1/4 of an inch again and poke. And then we're going to go center one. So I find my center one again, and this time I'm going to go the other way over one and poke. And then up 1/4 of an inch again. Then we do exactly the same thing on the top side. Same score marks. Just make sure you're doing it on the same score marks. There should be no holes poked on the first score mark and the last score mark, okay? Then on the next score marks in, there should be 2 holes parked on the top and 2 holes poked on the bottom. And then on the center score mark, there should be 1 hole. So when you're done, it should look like that on both sides. And then you have the hole in the center. Okay? Then, once you're finished with that, now is where we put the elastic in. And I've already done one because it takes a little bit of time. And so I wanted to make sure that I could get them in while making a video, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to start on the top. You're going to start with the top hole. I have a piece of elastic here, and I'm just going to try to poke it through here. I got this elastic cording from Hobby Lobby, and it was only $1. It's regularly $1.99, but it was on sale, and so it was $1. But even $2 isn't that bad. Okay, so I poked it through, so now it's coming out to the front. Now I want to take this, and I want to poke it back through to the center, like so. Okay. Then I'm going to take the other end. I'm going to leave this piece kind of dangling there. And I'm going to take this end. So now I got this end of it, the long end here. And I'm going to bring this to the top. I'm going to put this through the top hole. You can see what I mean. It's a little bit complicated. I do not use a needle, and the reason I don't use a needle is because I do not want to make these holes bigger, and the only needle that I have that would hold this elastic has a really large eye on it, and so pulling it through would just make these holes really large, and I don't want them to be too large. Okay, so then I poked it back through the bottom hole there, and then we're just going to, now it's important not to pull too tight because you definitely want a little bit of slack in them so that you can fit your books in there easily. But you don't want too much slack either. So just remember that and find a good medium. So then I'm going to pull these two together and I'm going to tie them in a knot. Once again, making sure that I don't have too much slack, but that I don't have it too tight either. Okay. Once you're done with that, then you can always mess with it a little bit. Okay. Then you trim these down if you cut it a little too big. Then you take your lighter and kind of melt these a little bit. If you do this part, make sure that you have this, I can't remember what this is. Just make sure it's not flammable, whatever elastic you used. Okay, that's important. The melting it just, or the putting the flame to it, it doesn't burn it. It just melts the ends, so that's what you want it to do. If you don't want to burn it, put a little bit of glossy accents or matte medium on the end, and that will also help keep it from fraying. All right, then we have our last piece here, and to make this piece, all I've done is I closed up the book and folded a piece of elastic over it with enough hang over it. I wanted to have a little bit of an overhang. I'm going to put them together, then tie them up. Okay, just like so. And then you check it out. It should fit on there with a little bit of snug, or a little bit of, you know, release. If it doesn't, then just try to pull your knot down a little bit. Okay, pretty simple. And then again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to trim the edges, and then I'm going to melt it. There we go. All right, and then this piece here just goes right through this center hole. Okay, and you just pull it all the way through, and now you have your cover ready to accept your books. So we can set that aside, and then I'm going to show you one more thing. Here, I'm going to show you how to make the folders. Here I've got a piece of 6x12 paper, and I have scored it at 6. I'm sorry, this is not 6x12. Yes, it is 6x12. It is, sorry. 6x12 paper, and I scored it at 6 in the middle. And then I folded it in half, and I brought this to the end, and I stuck my book in it. And then I made a score mark where that ended, because I want to make sure that this folder will completely cover the book when wrapped around it. Okay? For me, it ended up being, the score mark was at 3.5 from this. Then I turned it over, and I did the same thing. It could be different for you depending on where your score mark is. Okay? Then the next step is I'm going to put it in my trimmer. If you have a directional one, you want to make sure that your direction is going up right now. Okay? We're going to put this in the trimmer, and we're not going to be too exact. If you want to be more exact, then go ahead and measure out from there and up from the bottom, whatever you'd like. I'm just going to put it in my trimmer and trim, because for me, it doesn't need to be perfect. Okay? All right. So now we've trimmed that. We made sure that we trimmed it on the part that was open. All right. Then the next step, we're going to trim this off. We're going to trim this score mark. I'm just cutting right on the score mark. And then I'm going to cut to that one score mark. I'll open it up and show you on the inside. So this is what it looks like on the bottom. Okay, then I'm going to do the top. I've closed it back up. I'm going to trim again on the score mark. And then cut that one up. There we go. All right, now we open it up and we score. Both sides in, and then we fold these little tabs. They go down. Okay, I'm going to just trim a little bit more off this one. So it didn't quite take enough. If you find that it's going to interfere with your fold, then just take a little more off. Okay. Then we take some adhesive, strong adhesive, because you're going to be pulling on these when you put stuff into it, so you want to make sure that it's adhered down well. And up there. Same thing over here. And on the top. And you can see how these would come together really easy. These folders are super easy to make, and out of a 12x12 sheet of paper, you can get 2 of them. Okay, I burnished all the tape so that the backing should peel off nice and easy. I peel off the backing, and then I fold it over, and I start in the center and fold out. Then I adhere it down really well, like so. Peel off the backing, fold it up, start in the center and work out. Then adhere it down, and the last little step to complete my folder is to round the outside corners. And there we go. Now you have a lovely little folder that when done, your book should fit in it. Okay? All right. And that part really only matters if you do want your book to be in the folder when it's in the thingy. But I don't want mine to take up, I don't want my folder to take up an extra string. So I like to put my books inside the folder. All right. So now we take our planner here. We're going to start with, I like to put my calendar first. So I'm going to open it up to the center. I'm going to grab my first string, tie it on there. Then I'm going to grab my weekly, open it up to the center, and toss it in there. Actually, I think around my calendar is where I'm going to put my first folder. So I'm just going to slide that around there. There we go. Okay, then I'm going to take, this is just a graph paper one, and I'm going to put my folder in there. This one is going to be my journal. And then last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and put my notes one in there. This is for like brain dumping or any sort of notes I want to take. Then I fold it all together, take my elastic and wrap it around, and then we are finished. And that is our finished journal. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to send me an email or leave a comment. Also, I will be giving away one of these. I don't know which one yet, but I will be giving one away. And if you would like to win it, leave a comment down below and tell me just leave a comment down below and I will be giving away one of these. If you want to win it, leave a comment and I will pick a winner. Today is Monday the 22nd. I will pick a winner this weekend on Sunday night. So leave me a comment before then and I will pick a winner. All right, bye-bye now.